Hey everybody, ECW fan, the collector here. Yes, it's another monthly movies pickups. Yes, a new edition of the monthly movie pickups is coming, and it's actually coming to you the next month instead of me waiting 2 months. Because I picked up some good stuff from the end of February into March through March. So it's time to show these off. It's time to show some of these off, and I gotta say it. This is probably the best month of horror pickups that I've had in some time. I think Eddie, if you're watching this, you'll be pleased at some of the classic horror films I picked up, especially on Blu-ray and DVD. So, but first, let's start off light. Let's start off light with some comedy. And at a thrift shop, the Salvation Army Thrift, I actually found this for $1. It is Ned and Stacy, the complete first season. Yes, the complete first season of Ned and Stacy. Um, this Fox TV series only lasted like 3 seasons. Basically, the summary is, God, I can't think of his name. I'm trying to. Thomas Hayden Church, Ned, basically had to get a job promotion, and the only way he could do it is, to see if the boss would favor a married couple. So he finds this woman named Stacy and basically convinces her to marry him just so to get the promotion. Well, over time they start to become they become really attached, and it only lasted 3 seasons on Fox. People liked it, but yeah, he starts off. I think he starts off as a very shallow guy, and he starts to really become more of a human being as the show goes. But yeah, I've gotten this actually the second time I've gotten this series on DVD. The first time I traded it away, I think I traded it away to Jason, I believe. So now I've got it again, and I like this package better. So I might keep it. I might keep it. Now another series set that I actually found at this thrift shop was the Brady Bunch, season 1, and everybody knows the Brady Bunch. Yes, you can see how young everybody was back then. Yes, that was the Brady Bunch. And that's the only seasons I got. Those 2 seasons. And that was very weird because 2 different trips I actually found these 2 season sets in 2 different trips. And for $1 a piece it was pretty good. And all the discs looked really good. I checked them all. Always check your discs, folks. Even though you can clean them, there's only a certain amount of cleaning that you can do on them. Now, going to Cheap Thrills, in the dollar bin, I found Me, Myself, and Irene, a classic Jim Carrey comedy. I think this is with him and Renee Zellweger. I believe she's in this one. Uh, it's basically he's a guy he's a good guy, but he starts to have a mental breakdown, and he gets this alternate personality, and he's an a-hole with this other personality. He just snaps, just loses his mind, and he becomes an a-hole. And he's everybody took advantage of him. Well, they don't want to face this guy that's an a-hole because he'll do crazy things. I always liked what he done, where he goes and takes a crap on a man's yard just for the heck of it. Doesn't care. And the guy just sitting there like staring, like, what the? I can't think of his name in this. I can't think of his alternate personality because he just loses his mind. But it's a very nice comedy. I liked it. Now, I had another TV series, and this is an adventure one, and this one actually came from Cheap Thrills. And I wish I could have found the season before this because this is Lost season 5. Now, I just need season 4 and I'll have the first 5 seasons of Lost. And Lost at one time was one of those, back in the 2000s, if anybody remembers, Lost when it first started was one of those holy crap series. You sit there and watch it and you'll be sitting there just spellbound by some of the stuff they would do, because you would be like, all these mysteries unfolding, like, what is this? Why is this a dinosaur? What the hell's going on with this? What kind of island is this? And it was just a fun series, and over time, it just, the monthly grind and the fact that ABC was just, I think they just did too many, I think they ran it too long. I think they should have just did 10 episode seasons. It probably would still be going on. If anybody watches From on MGM Plus, that's like a spiritual successor to the series now. from. Now this hang from the Goodwill. The Goodwill's been kind of dry. I've been over there a couple times. Nothing really. This is a classic 80s movie, San Elmo's Fire. I actually remember watching this one, San Elmo's Fire. Emilio Estevez, Jude Law, you know, all the classic ones. Judd Nelson, Judd Nelson, I'm sorry, not Jude Law, sorry. Ali Sheedy, Demi Moore, Rob Lowe, you know. You just got all these people that just, you know, this was the Brat Pack back in the 80s, buddy, at their height. San Elmo's Fire. The song itself was pretty cool, you know. That song, I wish I could key it up here, but I would get, you know, copyright probably, and I don't feel like hunting it down, but yeah. I should have had that as my background thing when I think about it, but since this is a free channel, so who cares, right? Now, moving on to classic films, and I found this one actually at the same thrift shop when I found the Brady Bunch. I picked them up both together. It is Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves. Yes, the classic Dances with Wolves. And Costner has made some big epic films. And he's now made Horizon, his big Western series that he's doing. There's 4 parts to it. And I think he's already finished the first 2 movies. And I think he's trying to find a partner to do the last 2 parts of it. It's a big tale. I could have watched it, but man, 3 hours? I don't know if I can handle 3 hours watching a movie like I used to. I used to be able to sit down and watch all the Lord of the Rings movies, but now, man. But Dances with Wolves is a classic Kevin Costner film, and I've got a lot of them. Moving on now. I actually went to a pawn shop and found this. And I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan. Eddie will tell you. Axl Rose is the man, you know. I always joke around with Eddie like, well, when Axl Rose fronted AC/DC for like 2016 for a while. And he did. You could pull up the clips. He actually filled in and helped out AC/DC because they needed him. They needed a singer because they had to do dates that they had already booked, and they knew they would have gotten in trouble. So they had to get somebody. Well, Rose stepped up because Rose is a huge AC/DC fan. So it's just unique watching Axl Rose front AC/DC. Plus, he was doing Guns N' Roses too during that year. And so all of a sudden he comes out, you know, and he's singing Rock or Bust and Back in Black. And you're sitting there like, okay, he's really getting into this. He's really, because that shows how much of a fan he was. And going on to this Guns N' Roses find, it's actually from the World Tour. It's actually live in Tokyo. I actually found this in a pawn shop. I couldn't believe it when I picked it up. I was like, I got to get this. This is so cool to find. And it's, you know, it's Guns N' Roses in Tokyo performing all their hits. They've got November Rain, Night Train, It's So Easy, Civil War, Patience, Don't Cry. It's all there. This is right in 1992. This is after Izzy had left the band, so this is kind of cool to find. Yeah, big Guns N' Roses fan, so finding that in the pawn shop was pretty cool. If anybody saw the video, the solo vlog, I went into Walmart and they was having a sale. They had put these cheap movies, they had marked them down so cheap just to get rid of them. I guess they had so many copies and they was trying their best to get rid of all these movies. So one of them was a Dragon Ball Z movie. And it's brand new, and it was like, for $2.80, it was Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. I guess it's the resurrection of Frieza, I guess. Because I remember watching the first season or two back on Toonami back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this was kind of cool to get. I had the first 4 seasons of Dragon Ball Z. So getting this one was kind of a nice one for a cheap deal. I also got something else, which you'll see. Now going into horror films. Oh man, I got 6 horror films here, and you'll see some of this stuff. Some of this stuff you'll remember me picking up in the videos that I've done. So, and one of them I picked up, An American Haunting. I think Eddie recommended this one. He said, you need to get it. And I went ahead and picked it up when we was together. And this has got, I think, Donald Sutherland, Sissy Spacek. This is kind of cool. An American Haunting. Donald Sutherland was just this cool old man. He had that aura about him. He done all these movies. He did the Hunger Games, and he just had that aura. It's kind of sad that he's gone, you know. I mean, but hey, this is a nice one. Now, this one I picked up at Jason's shop. If you saw my ECW fan vlog, you saw me rocking the cool look. You know, I was rocking the cool look of being world champion of this great state of West Virginia, right? So I picked this up with the belt. It is In a Violent Nature. And, yeah, this is a nice one. It reminds me of Jason, so I went ahead and picked this one up. Okay, another thing I picked up, and this was in Cheap Thrills, and I think I caught this on camera when I was filming it, because even I was surprised at this. I was like, wait a minute, this has come out, Sean, already? Because this movie just come out in December, and this was like in late February. I'm sitting there looking at this, I'm like, really? This is done come out? And he was like, yeah, it's done come out. And it's werewolves. And Eddie's done told me this ain't a really good movie. But I've got to watch it and see, because you know it's got Lou Diamond Phillips, it's got Frank Grillo. It looks like some kind of homage to the '80s. I've got to check this out. He said it wasn't that good, but I'll have to wait and see. I mean, Lou Diamond Phillips looks like he's playing the president of the United States in this, and you know he could do it. He could be president. He's Lou Diamond Phillips, after all. He does have that cool look now. You know. At a pawn shop, I found this one. I have no. The cover looks really interesting. It's called The Apparition. Once you believe, you die. Squirm, squeal, and scream-inducing scares. This looked interesting. I was like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up because I like horror films with cool covers. So I went ahead and got this one. You're listening to Batman in the background, so here we go. Now I got the two classic films here, and this one, this was Shockorama, sent from Shockorama Cinema. This was a Italian film, and it could classify as some kind of prison horror film in a way. It's called Women's Prison Massacre. I've never I saw this one and Sean said, yeah, I think he's watched it. He just didn't get it. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up off of you. Yeah, Women's Prison Massacre. That's pretty interesting. And finally, the last DVD horror film I picked up, and this one, I was surprised to see it. It looks like it's an official release, in a way, and sometimes it don't. I don't know. It looks like it is. But it's from Trauma Retro. Trauma must have put this one out. It is Mother's Day. And I made a joke about this in a post. It said Mother's Day. The unofficial, you know, I made a joke. And nobody really got it. This one, I always remember crazy films like this back in the day. And I think this was supposed to be so over the top. It actually become a cult hit of its own. I know I don't watch much of these movies with, you know, certain elements, but I always remember this one. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get it. And Cheap Thrills had a copy of it, but it wasn't an official release. And I thought about getting it, but I was like, and I'm kind of glad I waited for this. Now onto the Blu-rays. Well, Blu-ray wise, I picked up 3 Blu-rays this month, or the last month and a quarter. And one of them was Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange film. And I'm eventually, you know, I was going to try to get all the Marvel films on Blu-ray. That was my goal. But when I saw those DVDs that I picked up in the last haul for 50 cents, I was like, well, I need to get Multiverse of Madness either way. I need to get it in some kind of form because I would like to get it. Eventually, if I upgrade and find them in Blu-rays, I'll eventually possibly move on from them. But this was nice. First Doctor Strange film. It was really good. I really liked it. The 2 Doctor Strange films have been really, really nice. Multiverse of Madness, to me, was probably the best film of that one phase. I said that in the last video. It really, it really was. I mean, the horror aspects to it really gave Marvel something new because they really hadn't done something dark and violent like that in a film, and I don't think they've ever done it. And that was like, okay, that's really good. Um, it was kind of twisted. I liked it. So hopefully we see Marvel do more experiments. We're going to see that with the Thunderbolts soon, or Thunderbolts. I was ready to say Thundercats. I don't know why, but Thunderbolts. Now moving on, I picked up two good Blu-rays of horror films. Now at Walmart, you saw me go through that box, that solo mission special, that solo missions, and one of them was David Cronenberg's Shivers. This was really nice. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get that. I was shocked that it was marked down as cheap as it was. It's possibly for the fact that I don't think it was, they had this copy left and they was wanting to get rid of it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get that. I mean, I've got this on DVD back last year. One last year. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this now for Blu-ray. Nice little Blu-ray pickup. And finally, the last one I got was actually from Cheap Thrills. And Shauna put this back for me. When I saw it there, I was like, I've got to get this. 4K, Ultra HD. I'm not big into, but I was like, on Blu-ray, I said, I've got to get this film. I'm not big into steel, I thought this was kind of cool to upgrade to Blu-ray because I've got it on DVD. It's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I've told Frank about this film. This film is really good. It's got all the commentaries and behind the scenes and the making, and this is a classic. It's a sinister three-ring circus of sneaky gore. Oh yes. I'm so glad that I picked up these. This is probably my best horror pickups in so many months. So it's kind of nice to get these. But that's my haul. That's my big 15 to 16 movie haul for the last month and a quarter. So I hope you enjoyed it. Till next month, maybe. Who knows? Thanks for watching. And I'm going to go watch some Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Oh, yes.